Hi, I'm Alex, and welcome to another episode of Learn English in Real Life. I hope you're ready for some real listening practice, and that you'll enjoy learning something meaningful today. Today, we're going to talk about something that almost everyone feels at some point, but not everyone likes to admit. It's the feeling of being alone, or what we call loneliness. Now, let's be clear. Being alone and being lonely are not the same thing. You can be alone and feel perfectly fine, even happy and peaceful. But you can also be in a crowd or sitting with friends and still feel completely lonely inside. That's because loneliness is not really about how many people are around you. It's more about how connected you feel to others. As human beings, we're social creatures. That means we naturally want to be close to others. We want connection, friendship, love, and someone to talk to. It's not just emotional, it's biological. Our brains are built for connection. In fact, research shows that strong social connections help us live longer, feel happier, and even heal faster when we're sick. But here's the thing. Even though relationships are so important, sometimes being alone is just as important. Spending time by yourself, what we call solitude, can actually help your mental health. It can give you space to relax, reflect, and grow. The problem begins when being alone doesn't feel peaceful anymore. It starts to feel painful. That's when it turns into loneliness. Loneliness is when you feel disconnected. Maybe you don't feel close to anyone. Maybe you feel like nobody understands you. Or maybe you just miss having deep conversations. Over time, these feelings can affect your mind, your emotions, and even your body. Let's look at some of the benefits of being alone, and why it isn't always a bad thing. When you're alone, you don't have to worry about other people's opinions. You don't have to please anyone or try to fit in. You can just be yourself. That gives your mind space to wander, to think freely, and even to be more creative. Have you ever had a great idea while walking alone? Or solved a problem while sitting quietly by yourself? That's the power of solitude. Studies show that being alone, especially when it's your choice, can improve your creativity, your focus, and your emotional strength. It gives you time to explore your thoughts and understand yourself better. In fact, during the COVID-19 pandemic, many people realized two things at the same time. One, too much time alone can make you feel isolated and sad. But two, not enough alone time, being around people all the time, can also be stressful. Being alone helps some people recharge. It's like plugging in your phone. When you take a break from social life, you can return to your relationships with more energy, patience, and kindness. So why do some people hate being alone? There are many reasons. First, some people just aren't used to it. They grow up in busy families, always surrounded by others. So when they finally get quiet time, it feels strange or even scary. Second, being alone means you have to face your thoughts. And let's be honest, some thoughts are hard. You might think about past mistakes, worries, or things you try to forget. Without distractions, these thoughts can feel stronger. Third, society sometimes tells us that being alone means something's wrong, that you don't have friends, that you're not popular. But this isn't true. Being alone doesn't mean you're lonely, and being around people doesn't always mean you feel connected. In fact, a study showed that some people would rather give themselves small electric shocks than sit alone with their thoughts for just 10 minutes. That tells us something big. Solitude can feel uncomfortable. but maybe only because we don't practice it enough. Another reason some people fear alone time is the idea of missing out. You might see your friends posting pictures online, going to parties, or traveling, and feel like you're not part of something. That's called FOMO, the fear of missing out. But here's the thing. Alone time isn't about missing out. It's about tuning in to yourself. Of course, how much alone time you need depends on your personality. If you're more extroverted, you might feel energized by talking to people. If you're more introverted, you might feel tired after social events and need more quiet time. But studies show that both introverts and extroverts can enjoy solitude. The key is choosing it, not feeling forced into it. So, how do you know when you need some time alone? There are signs. Maybe you feel easily irritated, or you're snapping at people more than usual. Maybe loud spaces feel overwhelming. Maybe you just feel tired, not physically, but emotionally. These can all be signs that your brain and heart need a break. Some people lose interest in socializing. Others find it hard to focus. You might even feel anxious about spending time with others because your mind is just too full. If that's the case, taking some quiet time can really help. One study found that people who spent just 11% of their day alone felt better during stressful social situations later. That's only about 2.5 hours a day, and it made a difference. So how do you make alone time work for you? First, choose your time. Pick a moment when you won't be interrupted. Maybe early in the morning or during a walk in the evening. Let others know you're taking that time for yourself and that it's important. Second, turn off distractions, especially your phone. Social media can pull your attention away and make you compare yourself to others. The goal of alone time is to focus inward, not outward. Third, plan something simple. Maybe you want to read, draw, cook, or just sit quietly. You don't have to be productive. This is about resting your mind. You can also go outside. Nature has a powerful effect on your mood. A quiet walk in the park or sitting by a tree can calm your thoughts and refresh your mind. Now, let's talk about loneliness and why it's not the same. Loneliness is when you want connection, but don't have it. It's not peaceful. It's painful. And it can have serious effects on your health. People who feel lonely over a long time are more likely to feel depressed, anxious, or hopeless. Loneliness is even linked to problems like high blood pressure, weak immune systems, and memory loss. In one report, half of Americans said they felt lonely sometimes, and 1 in 4 said they felt lonely almost all the time. That's a big number. So how do we avoid loneliness, or help ourselves when we feel it? The answer isn't always more people. It's more connection. That means deeper conversations, listening without judgment, being open and honest. These things matter more than how many friends you have. Also, changing how you see alone time can help. One study found that people who read about the benefits of solitude felt better when they spent time alone later. Their moods stayed more positive, and they handled emotions better. This shows that mindset matters. If you see alone time as a gift, not a punishment, it can help you feel stronger, not sadder. Now, if you live with others, it can be hard to find space. But there are ways. You can wake up earlier for some quiet time. You can go for a walk. You can ask others to watch the kids while you take a break. And when others need their alone time, you can return the favor. The point is, alone time should be voluntary. It should feel like something you choose, not something that happens because you feel rejected or left out. And finally, if being alone makes you feel truly afraid or deeply sad, you don't have to face that alone. Talking to a friend, therapist, or someone you trust can help. Sometimes, what we really need is connection, and that's okay. So let's wrap up what we've learned today. Being alone isn't always lonely. In fact, it can help you think clearly, feel calmer, and understand yourself better. Loneliness, on the other hand, is about missing connection. It can hurt your mind and your body. The goal is to find a balance, enough time with others to feel supported, and enough time alone to feel centered. And remember, it's not selfish to take time for yourself. It's healthy, it's human, and it's something we all need. Thanks for joining me today. If this episode helped you understand yourself better and improved your English a little too, then I'd say it was time well spent. Take care,